Is it legal to live in your car? Well, that depends. Where I live, it is, but I have no doubt that I've accidentally broken the law a couple of times while traveling.
The cost of living situation is getting so bad in this country that a lot of people are just considering living out of their cars. But I don't know if people realize this, but a lot of states it's actually not legal to live out of your cars. Like, it is technically against the law long term because your car is not on your own property technically. In that case, if you're living out of your car and you're on a public parking lot or on someone else's property, is where you're parked, you could get a fine or get in trouble for even living in your car. So while that sounds like a last-ditch effort for some people to be able to save some money, it's actually not that viable as an option.
Bedroom condo costs $1,499.
So when y'all do your numbers, are y'all like researching?
Yeah.
Okay.
$1,499 for my monthly rent. So I called my teacher back over. I'm like, so this for one bedroom condo for one person, right? Like, yeah, that's average cost. Okay. Then I gotta get renter's insurance. That's $20. Then paying for all the Netflix and all that, $48. Then the internet is $65.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need no house phone, so I put 0.
Mm-hmm.
My phone is $75. Mm-hmm. Electricity and gas is $163. Mm-hmm. Okay. Total cost of living is $1,870. Mind you, this is just a month, by the way. Mm-hmm. Public transportation, 0. So my car payment will be $735 down to buy the car.
For what? What kind of car?
I picked the best one, unfortunately. It was, I don't know what kind of car it was. It was like kind of like a BMW or something like that. Then my car insurance is $213. Then the maintenance is $100. And then the gas is $179. $1,227. Then, this is for one person, by the way. Mm-hmm. $355 for groceries a month. Mm-hmm. I said I'm gonna probably eat out probably 2 times a week. Mm-hmm. But this is monthly, so that's $240 a month. $595 just for food a month. Mm-hmm. Then $450 for health insurance, $30 for dental insurance, $18 for eye insurance, $100 for my hair.
Only $100?
I had to go low. Look, I first go to my hair done like once a month. $25 for like other hygiene stuff. I feel like that's too low too. I'm probably gonna have one rag, one towel. Like I'm gonna have to.
Yo, what?
They talk about a gym membership. I don't got no money for that. I put 0. So then that's $623 for health. And I know it's gonna be way more if I put my actual prices, but I was getting too stressed out.
And so you're gonna have to, if you choose to follow this, you're gonna have to take from some areas and add to other areas. You're gonna have to move some money around.
Wait till you hear how much I'm putting in my wants. For my student loan for college, it'll be $575 a month. Mm-hmm. To pay back $50,000 altogether. Mm. Then my wants, $2,000.
And what's the ones like clothing, all of that type of stuff?
Clothing, yeah, okay. All the stuff I just want to get myself, $2,000. So my monthly spending altogether is $9,455.
How much that leave you with every month?
$4,575.73.
Baby, they ain't gonna work.
You guys want to hear something crazy? This is what's crazy here. 5 years ago, I was a server, restaurant server, making minimum wage, breaking off my tips, and the house that we got was a 3-bedroom house, $1,200. 5 years later, I am now a nurse. Did not expect inflation to go up like that. Rent is $2,100 at the place we live. Can barely afford rent now. So guess what? Thank God I got my nursing degree, right? Because if not, we would literally be super struggling in poverty right now with who the fuck can afford $2,100 if you're working minimum wage? It's impossible, right? And I have 2.
So I need to come up with $4,000 by April 20th in order to secure a cheaper apartment that I'm looking into. They want $250 per cat for a pet deposit. Why do I have 3 cats? $120 for the application fee already. I saw someone else do this on TikTok with their student debt. She went live and everybody donated roses and she was able to pay off $20,000 in student debt. I think 1 rose counts as $1, so if I get 4,000 roses, I can move into my apartment. That is more affordable. Do I think this is going to work? Absolutely not. But am I going to try it? Yeah, because I'm out of ideas. So if you see me go live, that's what's going on. Come and hang out in the chat. You don't have to donate, but that's where I'll be all day. We'll see how this goes. It's going to be an interesting experiment, but it's worth a shot, I guess. I'll see you guys there.
A woman says she's exhausted by the fact that she can't afford rent even though she's cut back on eating.
There's a woman on TikTok who is going viral right now because her rent went from $1,300 to $1,800 a month with no warning. That is a significant amount of money for your rent to increase to the point where that would make or break somebody's ability to pay rent. Landlords and corporations are continuing to price gouge and not care about the well-being of their tenants or their customers or anybody because it's all about money, 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 money at this point. I would recommend that this girl see if she can find a cheaper place, but with the increase of rent, is that possible? I have no idea. It is going to take a lot of work to get out of that situation. She's either going to have to get a second job if she doesn't already have one, or scrape up some funds to figure out if she can move to a cheaper place, get a bunch of roommates. I mean, none of it is ideal. $500 could prevent you from saving money monthly too, which is something that I come on here and preach about. Taking your savings, putting it into a high yield savings or a compound interest account, watching your money grow. How are we supposed to do that when it's $500 increasing in rent? That's insane. I would love for people to just stop being selfish and let people live their lives.
And the crazy thing is the jobs don't even pay 3 times the rent. So why is the apartments requiring me to make 3 times the rent? As long as the rent get paid, that should be all that matters.
Curious how much you pay for rent. Where do you live and how much do you pay for rent? I haven't seen this talked about for a while, but I oftentimes hear people in conversations or things that they're saying that make me realize so many people don't realize how much people actually have to pay for rent every month. They have the privilege of not having to pay that much. So what do you pay? Where do you live? We live in Oregon. We pay $2,300 a month for rent for a 3-bedroom house it's 1,500 square feet, I think. I feel like it's less than that, but that's what we pay. So where do you live?
So it's been 7 days since I've been living in my car. I fled an abusive relationship that I'm not going back to, and I'm in a city where I have no family, and I refuse to go back home and live with either my mom or my dad or my grandparents. I'm gonna make this shit work, Patch. We gonna get through this shit together. But I am surprisingly doing so good. I'm pretty sure it's because I have God on my side and I know that God is leading me. I'm literally following this divine light. I'm not doing anything on my own because God is good and I listen to him. But anyway, I feel so peaceful, right? And so free. And I know most of it is because I'm no longer stuck with that man. And I wasn't even stuck with him. I think I was just doing it out of necessity. I was just staying with him out of necessity. But this ain't about that. This is about living in my car. So I've learned so many different things living in my car. And just different tips and tricks and hacks. And I know this isn't that video. I don't want people to refer to this video as a tip. Tips on what to do when you live in your car. But I got a few. All right, so I got these window covers from Amazon. And they completely black out from the outside. Super dope, and it keeps it cool in here. I got a generator it has outlets and lights and shit, and I bought my fan to keep me cool so I can plug it into my generator. I charge it. I normally charge it I'll go to if I go research at the library, because I go to the library a lot, or if I go to a cafe, because I teach Black history on my other page, so I'll go and study in places or whatever. And this is even before I was homeless, essentially. I would go to cafes, but now when I go, I bring my generator with me and I just charge it there. I'll be there for maybe 2-3 hours or whatever. So I got my generator. You want a generator, bitch. Okay. And then normally, because you have to sleep in places I don't know, fucking Harbor Freight or Home Depot or Flying J. You have to sleep in places where it's lights outside. So this is going to be bright back here. So you want to get something to cover this too. I got a blanket to cover this. A gym membership. Get a gym membership for many reasons. Get a gym membership. Not just to stay in shape, but to shower, brush your teeth, have somewhere to use the bathroom. I found a foster for my dog, so she's going to be going to her foster tomorrow, which is going to suck for me because I'm going to miss my baby. But that's something that I did. Gas stations. I'm not going to lie. Being homeless is showing me a lot about being resourceful. Like, gas stations have free microwaves. So if you ever want to get anything, like buy anything to like eat, I have a cooler here. That's another thing I have. I have a cooler. It's an igloo cooler. So I just get ice. I got a bunch of stuff in there. I got like a bag of spinach, some celery, carrots, sandwich making stuff, little packs of chia seeds. I got a bunch of different stuff in here, and like you can store it in there. Also, I got burritos. So that's what I was talking about, the microwave. You can heat the burritos up either at gas stations or hotels, like during breakfast and stuff. They have like microwaves and stuff. What else? Honestly, that's it. I gotta get my day started though. My day always starts the same. I take a shower, morning praise, and then I eat breakfast. Normally also while I eat breakfast, because I'll try and find like a nice park to just sit at or whatever and eat breakfast. So I can play with my dog, and that'll be a time that she can get her play in. And today gotta be like the last day, so we're gonna have an extra long play date. That's my baby right there. And this video isn't a cry for help. Like, I'm not there. I'm doing good. I think I just wanted to document this. I think maybe I'll do like sporadic updates. I think I'll only be in my car for maybe like a month. Because I need at least like 2 more paychecks before I can feel secure enough to get an apartment. But I'll keep y'all posted. Why not? Fuck it.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this humbly in hopes that I inspire someone on this Tuesday morning. My biggest flex in life right now is that, baby, I work a corporate job, but I live in a $900 apartment in the city.
It's Wednesday, and I'm almost out of money. I'll get paid again on Monday, but I gotta really be on a tight budget until then. So tonight I went to Meijer, and I got everything I got was $5.38. I got some of this ham, $2.71, and it smells really good. I think it's really good, high quality ham. And I picked up one of these French breads, 92 cents. And then I got some cupcakes that were $1.75. So, and I got some chips and some water left over from a few days ago. So I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna make it. Just gonna be rough until Monday. Hey, stay strong, my friends. Be resilient.
I'm not going to say too much about that girl that's living in her car right now. She's actually really, really popular on here, and I watch her content from time to time. But I'm not going to say too much, because the last time I said that people should not be living in their cars unless they absolutely have to. I'm not sure she has to, but y'all were like, no, if a person wants to be homeless by choice and live in their car, there's nothing wrong with that. And I said, you can't argue with stupid. You just can't. I'm not saying that people need to have a $1,500 to $2,000 apartment, but every time I lay my head in my bed, I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. It was one guy who was homeless, and he was telling people, like, listen, if you can avoid living in your car, like, avoid it. He had finally got an apartment. He talked about how, what do you do when you get a ticket and you don't show up to court because you don't have a home and you don't get the ticket? And when they tow your car, like, it is not as glamorous as people want to make it seem. And people in that situation, they try to cope. Like, she was like, oh, I got my TV set up. Which, hey, you know what? You in that situation, you need to make the best of it. But honestly, like, if you can avoid that, why not avoid it? I don't know.
I've always put rent above all my other bills. I have to have somewhere to lay my head. I have to have somewhere to lay my head. It doesn't even have to be the nicest, fanciest place. Like, my apartment is really nice now, but it took me a while to get to this spot. I've had roommates before. I had a really small apartment for 5 years, and I'm now finally able to get into the apartment that I love. Another thing too, I know that I'm a little bit different from other people because if I'm struggling, and I get it, it doesn't make any sense, but if I'm struggling, the last thing on my mind is sex. Me, personally. Sex, dating, I don't even want to be in a man's face if I don't have a certain amount of money in my bank account. Like, I'm just not the best version of myself or a better version of myself, so I'm not doing that as well. Not to say that people can't enjoy small things and live life like being poor isn't a crime, but I do think we need to start being real, especially with women. It's very, very dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. So if you can avoid being homeless, I know it's like, how do you avoid being homeless? If you can stay with a friend, if you can get a roommate, if you can get a hotel, whatever you need to do to survive and have a safe place to place your head at, do so. And then staying in the car is not comfortable. I'm not the biggest girl in the world. I'm not. But I've seen people bigger than me. It is not comfortable sleeping and staying in your car 24/7. I'm done.
Hey everyone, it's the New Fair Nomad. So as you can tell, I am not in my Honda Accord. I'm actually in a Kia Soul, which is a rental that my insurance company got for me. The reason why I'm not in my Honda Accord is the windshield got smashed due to criminal activity, which is unfortunate. It was undrivable, so it's going to take about a week to get my windshield fixed. So right now I have this Kia Soul, and the best thing about it is that the seats go down on the back and can actually have a camper set up in here. It's not going to be as detailed as the one in my Honda Accord because that's my full-time video, but I'm not going to let my windshield getting smashed stopped me from my nomadic adventures. So you've probably seen the video that I uploaded of day 25 and day 26 when I was in St. John's for Mardi Gras with my best friend, and we did some sightseeing and went on some adventures with her daughter as well. So prepare for day 27. I'm going to be setting up a, kind of temporary bed in this Kia Soul for, the next couple of days to a week. And you'll actually get to see a totally different camper setup and how you can actually set up a nomadic style bed in something like a Kia Soul or any vehicle where the seats go down. Now, the length is a little bit tricky because the Kia Soul is not very long, but the width, man, I got some room. I got a lot of head space, so I don't have to worry about, hitting my head, getting changed, and I can move around a lot and store things on the side of my bed as well. So stay tuned for this next clip here, and remember, stay safe, stay kind, and much love to you all.
To answer your question, I've grown accustomed to living in my car. This entire channel started because I decided to live in my car and just go unhoused. And if you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Tamara, and I actually spent 4 months living in my car in Tampa, Florida. This all started when I received a letter from my leasing office for a renewal of my rent. They were going up $1,300 from $1,000. In the instance of me receiving the letter, I got super annoyed and super mad and decided I was just gonna live in my car for a few months so I could stack some money, have some fun, and not have to worry about paying rent. Once I did that, it was just such a good time. Now, sometimes people think of when you living in your car, it's super scary, you have a car full of stuff, and it's just not the tea, right? But I did it in style. I made personalized window covers for my car. I got a really nice storage unit that I turned sort of into a little apartment with all of my things readily accessible. And most importantly, I got a job, so there was never lack of money. Well, I had a couple of days, but you can have that if you do have a home. But all in all, it was really nice to actually wake up in the morning and not have to worry about paying rent. Some days were better than others, but like I said, I grew accustomed to living in my car. It's nice and clean, and it's anywhere that I want to be on this planet, so I loved it. And to answer your other question, yes, I do have family, and the fact that I'm able to reach out to family and probably park in front of their place, and heck, even park in front of my place, I'll be fine. I'm not able to show you what I have that will protect me, but just know, I'll be fine. And actually, this time would be temporary because here in another week or so, I'll have my new apartment ready, or I'll just be going to another apartment just because I don't like this place. So it's only fitting to live in my car again if I feel the need to. Love you.
I don't know if you know this, but there is a reason behind these high ass rents. Before I get into it, like, follow, share, tag someone who may need to see this. Look, the FBI just raided Cortland Management in Atlanta for rent fixing. What is rent fixing? Well, basically, they've been fixing rents on this pretty much system called LRO through RealPage. And so, let me explain what LRO is basically. It's basically a lease rents optimizer, basically. Archstone Smith was a major company back in the early 2000s that created this system, and so it made the pricing of rents go up and down daily like the stock market. And so basically a lot of these property management software companies had incorporated this type of software. So you might call on an apartment complex one day and the rent may be roughly 2,000, and then the next day it may be 2,150, because it depends on the daily market. So now Biden has decided to probe these companies, and these companies have been rent fixing. So now the FBI is starting to raid a lot of corporate offices, thus beginning to show that there has been a rent fixing scheme, and that is why our rents are so high. So you know it's ridiculous, especially out here in California, whereas I entered my apartment at $1,895 and I'm now paying $2,500, even though the market rent for my apartment right now is $2,900. And if I wanted to get a 2-bedroom apartment in my area, in my building, actually, is roughly running between $3,900 and $4,000 a month now, which when I entered the building, the apartments were going, 2 bedrooms were going for about $2,500. So there you go, rent fixing. This is ridiculous how these corporations are taking advantage of us to squeeze us dry. And I'm letting you know, they're talking about tax these corporations. You cannot tax these corporations because these corporations are in a trust structure. So, like I said, if you want to consult with me about trust or property management or rentals or whatever, I have a link in my bio, Snowy Consulting and Media, and you can definitely hit me up through there.
I don't know about anybody else, but for 2025, I'm locking in on my apartment, okay? I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying home. I'm tired of paying these high prices rent. I'm over it. I'm locking in my place. That's it. I will make a gym in a little corner somewhere. I will read. I will watch me 1,000 movies before I continue to go outside. There's nothing outside for me. I'm tired of paying rent. I'm over it. Then they got the nerve to go up 4% every year. Like how? Why?
And I think this lady is saying what a lot of us are feeling these days. At the end of the day, who we're dealing with are these huge property management companies who don't really care about our well-being, who really don't even have any emotions when it comes to dealing with their tenants. They just have their bottom line, and just the only thing they care about is getting more out of their tenants and making a profit and having that bottom line be more and more every year. So that brings up the point why your rent is increasing by 4% every year, even though the inflation numbers, official inflation numbers, are not up by 4%. They're more like a little less than 3% last time I checked. Is because these companies, they want to make that rate of increase more than inflation so that they're making more every year, but they can also blame that on inflation numbers saying, oh, it's not just us, it's inflation numbers going up, but they're not just keeping pace with the inflation, they're actually charging you more. Let me know what you guys think about this practice. Leave a comment. Thank you.